All right, so let's do 2 examples, and then that'll be it. So this is the kind of stuff you might see on a quiz or a test, all right? So it's super important. Let me try to draw this. It'll probably take me longer to draw this than it will to actually do the problem. So I'm not going to... I took too long in the last class trying to make this look all perfect. So it doesn't matter that it's super perfect or not. Well, at least I will have this come up in touch, at the very least. All right, and then you got a couple other things. Kind of looks like a house, doesn't it? Kind of looks like there's struts to a house. You ever hear that? You kind of keep the roof stabilized, right? You ever go, do you have an attic at your house? If you go up in the attic, you'll probably see a lot of these kind of looking structures crisscrossing across the attic. All right, so let's put some letters in here. This is U, V. This one's W. This one's X, and this one's Y. All right, and they tell you this. They said if triangle, they're going to give you a congruent statement. Do you remember that? Remember yesterday I forgot the word, and I finally remembered it? Now I remember it. It's YXW. All right. What it's going to ask you to do is list all the corresponding parts. List all the corresponding, I'll shorten corresponding parts. So what are the parts of a triangle? There's basically 2 parts of a triangle. What are they? The sides and the angles. That's right, the sides and the angles, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to list 3 angles, and we're going to list 3 sides. So 6 things altogether. All right, so if it says list all the corresponding parts, that's what it's going to ask you to list. Everybody with me so far? Okay, so what we're going to do is figure out what angles are equal to each other. Now, you could use the picture, and that'd be okay. We're going to look at the picture in here in a second. But really, all you need is this congruent statement. Even if you didn't have the picture, you could answer this question. All right, how could you answer that question? Well, let's take a look at angle U. Let's see what it's equal to. Angle U, without even looking at the picture, do you know what angle U is equal to over on this triangle? Angle Y, that's right, because U is first and Y is first. Everybody see that? Let's keep going. What other angles do I have in this triangle? V. So V and X are going to equal each other, and what's the last one? W and W. Okay? If you come over here and look at it, let's see if it makes any sense. Angle U and angle Y. So here's our triangles. Here's UVW. See this triangle right here? And then YXW, this triangle right here. See those 2 triangles? So that's what we're going to compare. Look at angle U. Which one over here is the same as angle U? This angle Y right there. Now, they're not exactly the same though, are they? Right? What did I do to this triangle to fit it on top of this triangle? I had to do what? I had to flip it, didn't I? You see that? Flip it like 180 degrees, right? So it was like this, and then what did I do to make it match up with the other one? I flipped it, right? Flipped it, and then move it over here. Make sense? So this angle and this angle would match up. Okay, they would correspond to each other. What about V? V and X. This V right here and this X right here. Don't they go together? Yep, and then of course, this little one and this little one would go together as well. All right? We're only halfway done though, aren't we? What else do we need? The sides, the corresponding sides, correct? So let's take a look at this. Again, let's look at the congruence statement, and then we'll look at the picture. So what about UV? UV is one of our sides, isn't it? Everybody see that? So line segment UV is congruent, and I should have put congruent. When we deal with triangles, I should put congruent, okay? So UV, just use the congruent statement. UV would be congruent to what? Yeah, let's go in order though. UV, YX. Okay, XY would be true. That's not wrong, but I like to stay in order, okay? So we'll call it YX. All right, what's another side in that triangle? UV is one side. What's another side? UW. Let's go UW. So UW, line segment UW, is congruent to That's it, because it's the first and the third one. That's the first and the third one. So that would be YW. Oops. Why did I put triangle? Getting carried away. YW. Okay? And then, one more. What's the next one? VW. So VW is congruent to what? XW. That's right. Let's come over here and see if that makes sense. Right? UV. Where's UV? That's that one right there. What do you think that would match up with or correspond to over here? This YX. Okay? And it makes sense, doesn't it? That those are equal, these are equal. UW is which one? This one right here. And then YW is this one right here. Does it make sense that those would match up if I put them on top of each other? Absolutely. And of course the third one would match up as well. Do you see how helpful that is? Without even knowing the picture, okay, without even seeing the picture, I could tell which ones are the corresponding parts. All right? All right. So now, let's do this. I'll just keep all those marks there. It's kind of ugly looking, but let's do one more thing, and then we'll be done. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to say, find angle X if these things are true. So I'll just write right here. Angle U is 22 degrees, and angle UVW or UWV, angle UWV is 30 degrees. Okay? So, what are we trying to do? We're trying to find what? Angle X, which is this angle right there. That's what we're trying to find. Okay? But what do they tell you? They tell you angle U is 22 degrees. That's kind of small. Let's put it right, put an arrow. So that angle is 22 degrees. Angle UWV, where's that? UWV. That's this little skinny one right there. That's how many degrees? It's 30 degrees. And what am I trying to find? I'm trying to find this angle right here. Well, when you first look at it, you're like, well, how in the world am I going to find this when I don't know any angles inside of here? But I kind of do, don't I? Okay. What else is equal to angle X? We actually have it written down. Angle V, right. So really, what am I really doing? I'm really finding angle V, aren't I? Okay. Once I find angle V, then angle X is going to be the same thing. So this should be pretty easy. I got a triangle, right? So let me try to redraw it. I got a triangle, and I know that this is 22 degrees, and I know this is 30 degrees, and I want to find this one right there. That should be super easy. It's stuff that we've been talking about in the last day or two. All right, so what do I do with these two? Add them up. So 22 and 30, that's 52. Now, is that 52 though? I got to take it away from 180. That's right. So 180 minus 52, and that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 2. So this angle right here is what? 128 degrees. But they don't ask for angle V. What do they ask for? Angle X. But what's true about angle X compared to angle V? They're the same, right? They're equal. They're congruent. Everybody see that? See? Because angle V equals angle X. All right? So I found angle V, but they want angle X, so I could say angle X is what? 128. And there you go. And now you got it. Make sense? Yeah, it's not too hard, is it? At first, when you look at that picture, you're like, oh, what's going on? But you just have to kind of forget about a lot of the other stuff. Just look at the triangles. All right? And there you go. All right, so your homework, and I am going to collect 4-1A and B before you leave, okay? So don't forget that. So your homework is section 4.2. And I gave you a worksheet, or not a worksheet, but a, what do you call it, lesson plan thing? What is it, page 159, 160? I'll write it down just in case. And you're doing 1 to 14. So this is your homework, and that will be due on Monday. There it is right there, page 159, 160, 1 to 14. And they're kind of like the stuff that we've been doing in section 4.2. Let's do Monday. Any questions, any comments? All right. Make sure you get your homework out. Make sure it says section 41A, 41B. Make sure your name is on both of them. And then I will collect them.
Is it 21 to 29 B or A?
B. A would be 1 through something, right?